Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today in this tutorial we're going to be doing a strawberry trinket jar. I've already got my colors picked out, and I'm going to be using J Diction epoxy. I did on here a total of 5 ounces. Okay, so this first shot I did 2 ounces, and that wasn't enough. So I went ahead and I had to go back in and do up 3 more ounces. So, yeah, so the strawberry alone, the dish part will hold 5 ounces. And with the lid, I did the lid separate because, I just wanted to get the strawberry done first, and then I could work on the lid. Because I didn't really know how much it holds, and I always forget to pour alcohol in there, because you can measure your molds with alcohol instead of water. And the reason being is if you measure it with alcohol, if you're going to pour in it right then, you can. But if you use water, you have to dry your mold out, or you have to let it air dry, and it has to be completely dry before you can actually use it. So if you use 99% rubbing alcohol, or any kind of alcohol really, to measure your mold, then you can use it right then, because we spray our molds with alcohol anyway to pop the bubbles. So all that's going to do is just, be a side of it to where, it's going to help you with your bubbles. Um, and I poured my part B in first, and then I'm going up to an ounce, and then I will do my part A. And I'm going to hand mix this. I'm not going to use my Resiner's stand mixer, dual mixer. So I'm just going to use my hands to, well, not my hands, but my stir stick to do it manually, because there's not the 2 ounces in there. And when you go to stir your epoxy, stir it slowly, so that way you're not incorporating a whole lot of bubbles. I know I say that, and I stir like a mad woman. I do, however, have a vacuum chamber, and I do put this in the vacuum chamber. Y'all just don't see it because I cut that off, because it's just dead film anyway, because y'all can't see what I'm doing. So with that being said, I just took that part out. But, and also, when you're scraping your sides and all that, don't pick up your stick, whatever you're stirring with, and take it completely out of your cup, because if you do, that incorporates bubbles. Only pull your stick out when you're completely finished. You can take your stick or whatever you're stirring with, and you can, kind of rub it on the side of the cup, and it will, you can, clean your epoxy off that way. But don't take your stick or anything you're stirring with, don't take it completely out of your resin. Because if you take it completely out, you're just incorporating more bubbles when you take it out and put it back in. So that's just a food for thought there that I don't think I've told you guys before, so I'm telling you now. And here I have deep crimson, and I have cherry here for my red. And it's very thick, so I'm stirring it up. I don't have enough of whatever side I put in that, either A or B. I didn't put enough in there, so it's kind of thick, but and it's been sitting for several years, so there's that too. But these two colors I'm going to put together, because the cherry was kind of dark, but the other was not dark enough. It was more pink. So I thought I'd combine the two and kind of make them maybe, a darker color. and it still wasn't enough. So I brought out one of my other reds, and it was a red light, and it done the trick. So and then for the lid, I will be using juniper and jasper. Um, and here's the red. This is the red light that I was telling you about that I'm going to be using. So before I put that into my pigment paste, I'm going to clean that stick off because I don't want that resin in my pigment because it will harden. So don't ever put your resin stick, if you've got resin on it, you want to make sure you clean it off very well before you put it in your pigment paste because it will harden on you. Um, and you can see how much I put. I didn't put very much of it at all. So, and here I'm going back in for a little bit more. I guess I thought that wasn't enough. And so I'm going to add just a little bit more. And like I said, I'm stirring like a mad woman, but on the other hand, I do have a vacuum chamber. You know, I know some of you guys don't have that, so that's why I was kind of telling you, about the stirring slow, keeping your stick or whatever you're stirring with inside the epoxy. Don't bring it out 100% because when you bring it out all the way, that's what creates more bubbles. When you're going in and out, that incorporates a lot of bubbles. So, um, and I was also going to take this opportunity to say thank you to everyone that has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate it very much. It means the world to me. And if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be and have the subscribers that I have now. So I just wanted to give all my subscribers a shout out and just say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I do appreciate each and every one of you that has subscribed to my channel, and for everyone that leaves me a comment, for every like, for every share. I truly, truly thank you. And here I'm getting ready to, I sprayed the mold with some 99% rubbing alcohol down inside. And here I'm just going to put it on a paper towel so it doesn't, um, if it runs over, it's not going to get all over everything. And they're easier to slide when they're on a paper towel, or you put them on something and they're easier to slide over, for, and get them out of your way so you can keep filming or whatever. Um, and yeah, you'll see that the 2 ounces wasn't enough, so I had to go back in, unless I kind of clip that part and run the two together. But I did a total of 5 ounces. So in 5 ounces, I still had some left over, and I just put them in. I In fact, I got a puffy heart mold in that day, and I opened it up and just put them and put the extra into a puffy heart mold. So, and I got that mold off of Temu. And this was the extra, I believe the extra 5 ounces that I was talking about on or the extra 3 ounces actually, that I was talking about that I needed for the thing. So really it doesn't, I don't think this strawberry takes, I know it doesn't take 5 ounces. So I'm thinking right around 3.5 to maybe 4 ounces is what it's going to take. So, it doesn't hold 5 ounces because I had about, probably about an ounce left. So if you've got this mold, 4 ounces will probably be the right side of it. But, um, like I said, you can measure your molds with alcohol. But now I will say this, okay? Only on these kind of molds, on your cheap molds like you get from Temu or you get from Amazon or But your molds that are handmade, do not put water, do not put alcohol, do not put any of that in there. Because if you put that stuff in your handmade molds, you will ruin them. So do not put anything into your handmade molds. Ever. I know some people do spray their handmade molds with alcohol because they would rather not have the bubbles than worry about ruining a mold. Now, if it's not an expensive mold and it is handmade, I would more than likely probably do the same thing. But however, like my into resin molds, my um, molds and shape molds, no way would I even. I wouldn't do that. Not not even. So all my good molds like that, I would never ever um, put alcohol in them. Well, I'm not gonna say never, never, but because I mean, I have. I'm not gonna lie. I have sprayed just a little bit of alcohol in one. But as far as to ever put water in there, no. And the reason is because, with alcohol, it lessens the lifespan of your mold if you do this. And I know how expensive these molds can be, and therefore they're not going to be that easily to be replaced, so easy as it would be to replace one of these, for 7, 8, $10. Those handmade molds from, into resin molds and shapes, um, what glitz and glitter, whatever, the handmade molds, they're not as easily to replace those as it is to replace these little cheap ones from Amazon or Temu or wherever. And then this is the puffy heart mold that I got, that came in that I ordered off of Temu. And yes, it looks just like a Julie Cuts puffy heart. Um, but however, I guess somebody copied her at some point, or I don't know. But anyway, y'all seen the packaging. It was there. I did buy it. So I've seen quite a few people with this mold. And that's what made me notice it. And then I went on the hunt for it because I have always wanted that little mold. It's always been cute. And now here I am mixing up my resin for the top, and I've already sprayed. Maybe I think I've already sprayed the top with the alcohol, and this is the jasper that's going in, and it's not very dark. So, and I know this, so that's why it's not the color that I'm looking for. I'm looking for a darker green, and so I went in with the juniper, and it made it a little greener, but not by much. So I'm gonna go in with some black pigment paste to make it just a little bit darker. You don't need a whole lot of this pigment paste. You just need enough to get it a little darker than what it was, and it did get it darker. So and that I did this. The top will probably hold about, I'd say, an ounce and a quarter, or an ounce and an eighth maybe. I know we can't measure like that because our cups aren't small enough. So what I would say is for that to invest in some medicine cups, because that's where your smaller amounts are going to come into play. So I did 30 mils the first time, and then the second time I had to go back in and do just a tad bit more, but not much. So that's why I'm saying I did about an ounce. So I did 30 mils, and then I did probably maybe 5 to 10 mils. So I did a total of probably 40 mils, is what I would say. So the smaller medicine cups are going to come into play, and they're going to come in handy for you guys, especially the newer ones that are just starting out, that really hadn't got their measurements as far as how much things hold for now. they're going to be they're going to be good, because with the bigger cups you can't get smaller amounts, not like that. I mean, you can't get an an ounce, because there's not a point 0.5 on these big cups, so you'd have to use a medicine cup to get that. And then on the lid, all the little leaves, um I went around, don't fill your mold up very full, but I went around it, all the way around it, with my hand first, and I kind of tilted my top, sideways, forwards, backwards, kind of swished it all in there. And then I took my hand and I squeezed it to get the bubbles out, and they they actually came out relatively easy. It wasn't too hard um to get them out of there. So, and here I'm just putting my epoxy in the mold, and then um I'll spray it, pop all the bubbles, and then we will just kind of sit and wait till after demold happens. But um I do want to take this opportunity, though, guys, to I haven't gotten um hardly any responses on the idea of me doing, holding like a class, kind of like, it'd be more like a Zoom type thing where we all can interact, we can all talk to each other, we can all hear each other, we can all see each other, that sort of thing. That way, I'm there, I'm able to help everybody, but we're just doing it from the comfort of our home. But I need some ideas, I need some answers, if you guys are, if y'all are up for that. If you're not, that's fine. But if you're interested, let me know. I'm gonna keep this opportunity open for about probably a couple of weeks. And then if I don't get any responses or anything like that, then I'm gonna know nobody's interested, and then I won't have to pay for a membership to do it. Because if I if I have more than a certain amount of people that's interested, I have to pay for a membership, so we can all, interact and be in, there together, and, chit chat and whatever. And with this side of it that I'm going to be doing, you have your opportunity to ask any questions live, not, having to type things in, because I know sometimes that can get frustrating, because it gets frustrating for me sometimes. So I know. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it open. Today is Saturday, the 19th, so I will keep it open for um I'll probably keep it on open for a couple more weeks. So not next Saturday, but the Saturday after is when, if I don't have any responses or anything like that, then I'll just be doing basically YouTube lives. And at that point, whatever questions y'all have, you'll have to put them in the comments or whatever, and I will respond back. It's just gonna maybe take me a little bit of time. I won't get back to it right then and there, but I will, definitely respond back to anybody that sends me a comment. So, um, and here I just went around with my little silicone tool and made sure that all the bubbles were out of that lid, because I didn't want any bubbles in that lid whatsoever. I have had so many bubbles around lids like this, so I was going to take my time and make sure that I did not get a bubble. And well, you'll have to just see. So, um, and also, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. It doesn't cost anything. It just helps my channel out. It helps me to get noticed, and that's all. And I also have the Buy Me a Coffee and the Buy Me a Coffee shop, where you can go and actually shop merch now. In my description box, I am in the process. I hurt my knee a couple of days ago, so I've been down. I am in the process of just basically needing to get the photos done so my daughter can upload them, you know, give a description of the item, da 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 da, whatever. So if you want anything, even my handmade molds, everything will be there. So you just click, and I have it separated. I have the Buy Me a Coffee, and then I have the shop part up at the top, and the Buy Me a Coffee is a little further down. So I have it separated to where you don't get mixed up. But even if you do, it doesn't matter. You can click on either or, and it's going to take you to the Buy Me a Coffee website, and you'll see it. It's either Buy Me a Coffee or it's shop, and they are both like right side by side. So if you want to shop, you just click the shop button, and it will take you straight to the shop of where all my items, everything I've got listed is there. All you got to do is purchase it. I get the notification, and bam, you pay for it. I get the notification. I mail it out to you. Easy peasy. And here I'm still going around popping these bubbles, because there was quite a few bubbles in the top of this lid. So I just wanted to make sure that I'm getting them all out. And also make sure that you stay tuned to the end of the video for the photos. Don't forget to stay tuned for the finished product. And like I said, if you guys want anything, just you can even send me an email. I list my email in there as well. So if you're interested in anything, just send me an email and let me know if I don't have it on there, and I can put it on there, and then I'll email you back and let you know it's up. It's there for sale, whatever, and then you can go and grab it, and um whatever. I know another creator was telling me that's how she does it. Instead of having to list everything, she just waits until it, gets somebody wants it, and then they email her. She emails them back, tells them it's in there, and then, you know, that's that. So, okay, so that is that on that part, and we just now have got to um, wait for demold. Um, and I'm cleaning off the top of that rim. And also, if you will clean the tops of your rims off, or your mold, all around it, anywhere you see resin when it cures, before you demold, it's easier that way. It's a lot easier to get off. So just take some tape, doesn't matter what kind of tape, painter's tape, scotch tape, packing tape. Um, I'm not sure if duct tape will work, so I don't think I would use that. But, all the other tapes, and then just go around your mold, and pick up all the loose epoxy and all that stuff, and then you don't get it in your mold, and you don't get it in your piece when you're, you know, demolding, or whatever. You don't get it down in your mold, and then you got to clean your mold out. Because I've had that happen to me a lot. And I must have over poured this a little bit, because I'm still wiping this crazy mold. So I definitely had some overage here, that I'm trying to clean up and get off. It wasn't much though. It was very little. But I just knew if I left it though, that it would be my luck. It would start running over, and then I wouldn't see it and catch it, and then it'd be all over everywhere when I came back in to demold. And I didn't want that. So um, that's why I was cleaning all that off, because I wanted to make sure that it was done with its spilling over. And then now, make sure you spray when you're done. Make sure you spray the outside. Just spritz the tops of your resin and all that to pop any bubbles that have come to the top. Because it will form bubbles and all that. And yeah, and then it'll just pop the bubbles, and then you'll be good. And I will see you guys here in just a few minutes on demold. Hi guys, we're back. Okay, time for demold. And I'm going to start with the puffy hearts first. These were just extras, so I really didn't do much with them. I left them like that, and I'll put them in somebody's order or something. But they turned out really good. I'm okay with it. I don't like the mold though, because I really thought they were going to be shiny, and they're matte. Like I don't like that. So I'm going to have to fix it, because I wanted, like I'm showing you here, I wanted the front to be like the back. I wanted it shiny. So more than likely, I'm going to have to put a top coat on it. And then I will probably have to remold them, because I don't like that matte look at all. And you can also, when something goes dull, because molds do go dull, you can take clear spray paint and put a gloss over it. Now, I like to use Krylon Triple Thick. It's thicker. To me, it's better, because that's what I've used on a lot of my tumblers, my printable vinyl, my water decals, all that stuff. So Krylon Triple Thick is your best of the spray sealers. If you're gonna, spray something and to seal it to get a gloss finish, that's what I would use. Here I'm just demolding the top, and I'm trying to be very careful because this is still kind of soft, and I didn't want to break any of my little stems off, my little petals, my flowers, not flowers, but y'all know what I mean, my little leaves. And that turned out perfect. No bubbles whatsoever. Look at that. And look at that shine. I had very, very minimal trimming to do. I have gotten me a new tool. I've just not gotten it out yet. But I'm going to be getting that sucker out, and I'm going to be using it soon. Because me and this deburring tool, we are just not getting along here lately. I mean, yeah, it's mad at me for some reason. So I thought, well, I'm going to have to part ways with you, buddy, and have to find something else. Because, yeah, that's just, can't be having none of that. It don't want to play nice. And I need it to play nice. Now here, I'm going to try my hardest to unmold this little strawberry. And it really wasn't that tough. I mean, it was there for a minute or so to get it started. And I did cut my finger. But it wasn't, I mean, that mold was pretty stretchy, and it wasn't really all that bad. So, and there she is. And I had a little bit of trimming to do on the bottom of that one as well. Now, granted, that one was a lot easier to clean. on the bottom than, you know, the lid was. But all in all, I mean, it it turned out fine. It all came together. It was cute. It, you know. So, all in all, we got her done, and you know, she turned out beautiful. So, but just like I said, make sure you guys stay tuned for the ending photos. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Make sure you like, share, and comment. And there I was showing you that I had a little bit of trimming to do, but not really a whole lot. But it turned out super cute. I really wanted to do the seeds on the inside with rhinestones, but I didn't have the color I needed. So I have ordered some. So more than likely before this goes out, unless if anyone wants this, they want it just like this, then I won't do anything with it. But otherwise, I'm probably going to do some rhinestones, you know, to make those seeds pop just a little bit off the, you know, give it just a little, you know, little kiss of something, because it definitely needs something. But it turned out super, super cute. I mean, I love it. And I'm very happy. That lid fit superb on there. I mean, I really hated to have to trim it. But anyway, guys, that is it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.